Hi, I'm Simon Hill and you're watching Purebred Reds Adelaide United Fan TV.
Hi, I'm Daniel Mullen, former Adelaide United player and Asian Champions League winner with Western Sydney Wanderers. When it comes to any of my soccer needs, I do my shopping here at Soccer Locker. An Australian-owned and operated business, the store is located at Shop 5 of 181 to 183 Grange Road, Findon. Founded in 2017, Soccer Locker was introduced into the market to fulfil all the soccer-related needs of Australians, providing a huge range of quality clothing and equipment ranging from soccer balls, team kits, goalkeeper gear, accessories and much more. Recently arrived stock also includes stunning retro kits from some of our favourite past eras as fans of the world game. Soccer Locker is a specialist in premier range boots, Adidas and Puma, goalkeeper gear and licensed merchandise. Visit us online at www.soccerlocker.com.au with free delivery Australia-wide. So get shopping now at our Findon store, open from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. from Monday to Friday and open Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
G'day guys and welcome to the Purebred Reds Adelaide United Fan TV. I'm your host El Skelios here to preview our game against Sydney FC, the big semi-final this Saturday night, and I'm joined by a familiar face to the show. It's his second appearance on Purebred Reds and I'm delighted to welcome the former player and brother of current player Nathan Konstandopoulos. That's Kristin Konstandopoulos. Kristin, currently playing at Adelaide Olympic. It's great to have you back on the show. Tell us how you've been.
Good, mate. Good to be here. Yeah, everything's been good, mate. Yeah, pleasure to be here.
Obviously, you're quite busy with Adelaide Olympic. It's been a bit of a indifferent start for Olympic. Difficult start, but some good results recently, most notably against Adelaide United's youth team, getting a draw there, which very much could have been a win. And you played against a few Adelaide United players who will be in the senior team against Sydney FC this Saturday night. So just tell us how the season's been so far for Olympic and how you're going in your personal life as well.
Yeah, it's been good being at Olympic again for my second year. It was a bit of a shaky start at the start of the season. We had quite a few injuries into our defensive region, so it was a tough few games. But then we made some acquisitions, and we've really stepped it up from there, and it's looking really good. Yeah,
fantastic stuff. We're in to preview the game between Sydney and Adelaide United. Of course, you made a very memorable debut, Kristin, in this very fixture, and we're very much up against it then, as we will be on Saturday night for your former club when you played in the A-League. It's a 6:35 kickoff this Saturday night at Nostrada Jubilee Stadium. Make sure you're watching on Fox Sports or KO Sports. In terms of squad updates, Mohamed Toure and Yaya Dukali both named. You played against both of them just last weekend as well, Kristin, just to make a note of that. So we'll talk about that amazing win last weekend, beating Brisbane Roar 2-1. It's actually the first ever time that we've won a finals game away from home, and it's the first time Brisbane Roar have lost a finals game at home as well. This is a massive result, Kristin, for the team. What do you think?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's our first, finals away victory. So great for the club, great for the players. Yeah, I'm happy for everyone involved. It's great.
Why do you think we were able to win this game? Because, I mean, was it down to just Tomi Juric having a big day out? Because no one really gave us a chance and we battled hard. But, we went away and won. And the last time we were at that stadium too, at Dolphin Stadium, we got absolutely done earlier on in the season. So really no one gave us a chance, particularly with Craig Goodwin out, who you would know well from your time at the club during that 2018-19 season. Was it just Tomi Juric having a big day? What do you reckon?
I don't think that's the case. I think, Goodwin's a big loss to have. And without Goodwin, people have always been like, where are the goals going to come from? So it was great to see Juric grab 2 goals. That's good for him. But I think, in finals, it's all about playing with passion and just who has that desire to win the game is huge in the finals. So I think Adelaide showed it and they were very hungry to win the game and they deserved it, I think. Yeah.
Well said, mate. We'll move forward. So we've spoken about Tomi Juric and how he really took his chance with a lot of people starting to get on his back for his inconsistent performances. But Louis Dorigo back in the team, he was really good. I thought he impressed. Obviously, you know Louis very, very well. He had a big day out. Do you think it's vital for Louis Dorigo to be in our starting 11?
Louis is a great player. I've played with him for a long time and yeah, he's one of those players that is great to have in the final series because he plays with a lot of passion, a lot of hunger, a lot of desire. So he worked hard for the team and he played a great game. In regards to selection, it's obviously not my choice. There's some good players there in the midfield. Like Cavallo's been great this season as well. But yeah, Louis played well, so he deserves his spot in the next game.
Just on Tomi Juric, would you re-sign him on this form if it was up to you? Obviously, back when you were at the club, we had Baba Diawara, and he was much maligned because of the fact that he was never fit, and then all the pressure was always on George Blackwood. Being a fan from before your days playing at the club, how much we've struggled to have a striker in consistent form. So do you think on this form now, if he can keep his body in good nick, that Tomi Juric is a player we should really prioritise to be re-signed into next season?
Yeah, if Juric can keep the goal scoring up, that's what the fans want and that's what the team needs. But it's also down to other things, in regards to money. And I don't know how much they're paying Juric to play for the team, but if they're paying him a lot, he has to score goals. You know what I mean? So it's up to the club if they want to go with youth, if they want to keep Juric and go for the experience. It's down to them. Yeah.
Do you think we played our final against Brisbane last weekend? Obviously, they took us all the way. We went 2-0 up quite early on, really a backs-to-the-wall performance. We've seen this before where we kind of exert everything into the one game and then we can't really back it up, particularly when it's 2 away games. So do you think we've already played our final, or can we go again?
Put simply, every game should be a final, really. And I think if they can back it up again, then that's perfect, I think every game that I go into is the same kind of thing. You play like it's your last game. That's what players should be thinking, and that's what they should go into this game. So they can definitely back it up if they keep that same feeling, same momentum, and take into the next game. I'm sure they'll do great.
So going back in your career when you've played a grueling 90 minutes, high stakes game, and then you've got to back it up less than 7 days later, what's the mood like in training throughout the week? Are you focusing on just staying as fit as you can and really backing up physically, or what's the kind of focus? Is it a case of not playing the occasion and playing the match when it comes to match day? Just talk to us about what that whole week is like in the lead up to a big game after you've already played a big game when they're both away from home.
Yeah, well, when you win a game like that and going into this next one, I think most of it won't be anything to do with fitness or anything. The players are already fit; they know that. It'll be more about keeping that good spirit, having some fun in trainings, and I think maybe some tactical things that they need to work on. But it's more about keeping that momentum, keeping everybody in that good headspace. And yeah, that's it.
We know how much of a challenge we have on our hands, but let's just talk about Sydney FC. They have a number of outs, mainly defensively. Redmayne's out, Ryan Grant's out. They're going to have a few young players. One of them you would know well, actually, the former Adelaide United centre-back, Ben Warland.
Yeah.
He'll be most likely playing. So tell us, what's it like? Warland's not particularly young, but some of those inexperienced players being thrown in very much at the deep end. Just talk to us from your experiences for such a big game. How do you approach that?
Yeah, I think there's 2 big losses for Sydney, especially Grant is a huge player for them. So that's a big loss. But yeah, as young players stepping into there, it can be difficult, especially when you haven't had the experience and whatnot. But Ben Warren's had quite a bit of game time, and he's a good player, so I'm sure he will step in pretty well. But yeah, it can be tough for young players stepping into that role. If Adelaide can kind of capitalise on that, it'd be good for them. But when you're playing as a young player as well, often the young players will give more enthusiasm coming into the team. So yeah, it can go both ways, really.
Are they kind of in the better position losing their defenders and their goalkeeper as opposed to their star power going forward? Which is sort of the better of the 2 losses? Would you rather have your key defenders out and have that all imbalanced going into this game defensively, or would you rather rely on younger talent, which they have plenty of, to come in the final third and lose their star power up front?
You don't want to lose too many players in one kind of area of the pitch. If you have a young player playing, fullback and then maybe one on the wing, it works a bit better. If you have, 3 young players playing in defence, it might be a bit tough to lead that area of the field. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard because young players can surprise everyone, or they could have a bad day. It's hard in that regard. Yeah.
Howard Bell is Sydney number 2. He's really not played many games for them at all because of how consistent Andrew Redmayne's been. So that may be one to look out for. Just moving along, Kristin, talk to us about how your brother Nathan Konstandopoulos is getting on. He's obviously unavailable for this game, quite tragically having copped yet another ACL injury earlier on this season. So talk to us about his recovery and I guess his kind of headspace at the moment.
Yeah, his recovery's going well. It's about the same as he was at last year at the same time. So he's been there before. You know, he knows what to do. He's always got a good headspace now. It was hard at first. Obviously, the second ACL is going to be tough to deal with. But he's strong-minded and very hardworking. So he's in a good place now, and he's going strong, which is good.
Beautiful, beautiful. We'll talk about your debut. So this game was against Sydney FC. You came on as a substitute in that heroic display when we drew 0-0 with effectively a youth team against Sydney. And on that day, Bobo, Ninkovic and Alex Wilkinson were all playing for Sydney. And they'll all be playing again in this game. So talk to us about the memories you've got from that excellent debut.
Yeah, that was a great day for me. Well, my one and only game for the senior team. So it's not much to remember, but no, it was great to play that game. I was actually a bit annoyed at first because I thought I should have been starting because we had so many injuries out and I was training well and doing everything right in trainings. So I was a bit annoyed at first, but obviously to come on at any stage and make one debut was a great feeling. You know, you've been working hard for that moment and been supporting the club for my whole life. So yeah, that was a great feeling and it was a great day. Yeah, it was hard to remember a lot of it because most of the time I was just excited and just running around like a bit of an idiot. Nah, but it was good.
Yeah, you would have been full of adrenaline. And I remember sitting in the stands as a fan. That's probably the only time ever at home that we've truly celebrated a draw like it was a win. I remember at full time, everyone was just high-fiving and cheering. And, you know, you almost had to remind yourself that we didn't actually win the game. But a great effort nevertheless. Kristin, I need to get your prediction. Who's going to win this game, mate?
I'll go with Adelaide United. And I'll go with a 2-1 win for Adelaide. I think with the defensive problems of Sydney, I'm going to back United and say a 2-1 win.
Big. We hope you're right. Let's talk about Adelaide Olympic. So like we touched on the top there, you know, had a very good season last season. Back in form now under the coach, Juric Konstandopoulos. And you're also playing with your brother again, Jason. So there's a real family feel going on at the club. So tell us how it's all been.
Yeah, it's been good. So after the passing away of Pablos, it was tough for the club and they needed someone to step in as coach pretty suddenly. And, you know, they asked my dad and he was, you know, hesitant at first because he didn't really want to step into the role and it was hard because he was good friends with Pablos as well. So, but he took it because of Pablos and wanted to do what he was creating for the club. So, yeah, it was obviously a tough start, like we said, but the team's really gelled together now. And it's a really great morale. So it's good. It's a good place to be.
Brilliant stuff. And talk to us about the Player Performance Project too, which you're heavily involved in. And we can find out all about that if you're followed on socials. Yeah.
So Player Performance Project is something that me and a good friend of mine, Cliff Mayner, are kind of running at the moment with some other people involved as well. And it's basically trying to give young players a chance to improve themselves, both technically, but also physically with the facilities we have, you know, having that area to train both on that technical aspect, but also on the exercise sports science side of stuff and adding different areas of the game where you often might not have worked on. So little 1%ers that can often be very beneficial, especially in Australia when the opportunities aren't great. So it's often those little things that can help get you over the line. So we're trying to give an opportunity for young players.
Brilliant stuff. Just in your personal working life, we've been looking at the UniSA logo hiding away there. Talk to us about placement and what you're up to with UniSA.
Yeah, so currently finishing off my exercise sports science degree, just in the final stages of it. So doing my placements both at the uni and then also with Henley High School. So getting a little bit of done everywhere and just experiencing different areas of exercise sports science. So yeah, finishing that and then hoping to move into physiotherapy after that.
Fantastic stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, Kristin, you might not end up needing it because if the talk is real that Adelaide United are about to let go of a number of players and you keep your form up this season in the NPL, who knows what might be happening sooner rather than later, mate. But you're a very focused, driven young man. We love having you on the show. Very well spoken, very mature. Kristin Konstandopoulos, former Adelaide United first-team player. Great catching up with you again, Kristin. All the best with the NPL, with Adelaide Olympic going forward. We will keep a lookout for everything that Olympic gets up to between now and the end of the season. And thanks so much for joining us on the show.
I appreciate it a lot, mate. Thank you for having me.
Great stuff. Thanks for watching, guys.